I will say this is the last time. You cannot protest on Fort Sill. You need to move across the street now.
75 years ago, 120,000 of us were removed from our homes and forcefully incarcerated in prison camps across the country. We're here today to protest the repetition of history.
You can go across the street, and that needs to happen right now.
Otherwise, what will happen?
I don't know. No, I'm not going to arrest you, but you need to move now.
Then we're not going to move.
Yes, you're going to move.
If you're not going to arrest us, we're not going to move.
Go ahead. We've been removed too many times. We're not leaving.
En la acera corre el río que a los hombres fue domando ese río que se vale salirse de vez en cuando.
Which is a big detention center in Victorville, where there are adult detainees. They're being released, either being deported or else to wait for their asylum hearing. And they're leaving Adelanto with nothing except for the clothes on their backs. So there's a group out there who asked us to donate 50 backpacks with toiletries and other necessities.
And toast and cheese to all the good times throughout the years. And just remember, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. It ain't who you know, it's who's got your back. Who's got your back? Who's got your back? Who's got your back? Well, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. And who's got your back? 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 It ain't who you know, but who knows you, and who's got your back. I done told my secrets to a friend I thought I could trust, and he swore he'd keep it on his mama, and I thought it was. But over time I found my business all in the street, still trying to please.
Hi, Javier. Javier, I'm Rose. Hi. Hi, Mia. So we got over 2,000 t-shirts donated. This was from some of the funds raised at concerts.
The Inland Empire, there's about 5 million people living in both counties. 1 million are immigrants, 300,000 are undocumented. So it's a pretty big number of folks here that are immigrant, big number of folks that are undocumented. And for many years, this, the establishment, the local governments acted as if they don't exist, they're not here, and if they are, then they don't deserve any services. And we're really challenging that and pushing that, everyone in California deserves access to services.
Japanese Americans in the United States during World War II were put into concentration camps in the United States. So our parents and grandparents were all in camps. And so, we understand what it's like to be imprisoned with no due process and unjustly.
My uncle was detained there, and even though it was just like a month and a half, it was very, very difficult to advocate for him and to give him the medical care that he needed, or anything. So we really appreciate, even if y'all think that it's like a really small gesture, to everyone that's detained, that's getting released or even deported, it means a lot to be able to come out with a backpack and to be able to come out with something that they know that people care for them. So just thank you so much for what you're doing, and I hope we continue working together until we see these places shut down for good.
Soy un pájaro atrevido que cruza cualquier frontera. Saludo a la bandera del pueblo más aguerrido para construir un nido. La tierra me da su trenza, la tierra madre que piensa y me dice con poder: ya no me va a detener ni el muro de la vergüenza.
This is Contra Viento y Marea. It's a community kitchen donation center. We are run 100% on donations from the U.S. and so we serve a community that cannot pay us for services, so everything we do here is free. Anyone who steps on U.S. soil can claim asylum in the U.S.
That's
that
their
is the
legal
law.
right.
Yeah. And right now, they're turning people away. They're like physically blocking people from entering U.S. soil, giving them a number and saying, you're number 3,588, come back in like 5 months. And that literally people are like, well, I can't go home and I can't wait 3 months living on the streets. And so all the shelters are at capacity.
Self-deport. We don't care about what the Trump administration says. Us as Americans believe in love and unity and loving and helping each other. Down with the borders. To cook 200 meals a day, that is a lot of work.
I can't breathe. Let me be free again.
Election, I'm the best one. I'll change your life overnight if you just come. Let me put my hand in your uterus. You just rest and take it. I will give it, don't wanna hear no complaints. I'm doing it for mankind's sake. Make no mistake, they don't care who dies or lose their lives in the name of war. Innocent children, women and civilians who've never seen this shore. Lies have tied us into desire to keep us wanting more. Of the cycle of hate that continues as we refuse to withdraw.
We're going to set up like a display like this on these racks.
So these are the places that have confirmed that they'll have a display. So Senshin Buddhist Temple is going to have a stand. JCCC is going to have a window display. Janum will have a stand.
I'm just so grateful to Carrie and everyone, Nikkei Progressives, because here in the Southern California area, Nikkei Progressives have been at the front line of kind of organizing all the fold-ins and stringings and so forth. And in addition to all of the past activities in Texas, there were 2 protests in Oklahoma and Fort Sill. There's a big event coming up in June. All of your cranes that you're making today will, hopefully be a part of that 125,000 cranes that represent not only Japanese Americans, but Japanese Latin Americans who were incarcerated in American or U.S. camps. Maybe up to 150 taiko will line that 1 mile march, bringing all of these cranes to close to the White House.
Don't it feel like a movie, teaching this girl how to waltz? Left feet she might have 3, but she sure feels nice in my arms. Old folks singing old songs, playing the agreed upon key. My eyes are stuck on her, her eyes don't leave her feet. All this girl, no class rank.
I think the struggle is still going on for redress and reparations for Japanese Latin Americans. And there was such a unique situation in terms of they're being kidnapped from South America or Latin America.
Very few stood up for Japanese Americans, Japanese Latin Americans during World War II. And so it is our responsibility to be the ones who stand up and speak out for anybody whose civil rights are lost with the detention.
I am personally encouraged and will take back to Los Angeles our hope to step up our action, to do something more than before, whether it's organizing, whether it is helping with voter registration, whether it is making donations and talking to family members and community members.
My parents entered camp childless, and all of a sudden they had 3 children in a concentration camp. But the point of my wanting to tell you about our family was that at least we were kept together. As unconstitutional and inhuman as what they did to us was, they kept us together. What the government is doing now, separating children of all ages, from babies to teenagers, from their parents, is inhumanity on steroids. So the message is, stop repeating history. Never again is now.
We're just glad she's home, and I got to meet all her kids too, so they're all really cute. Yeah.
Yo un día en la noche, después de como 27, 28 días que yo me sentía muy mal.
Les voy a traducir un poco.
Okay.
So she said that, well, we got her case because we heard that she was sick, and she went a month bleeding because later on they found out she had something in her uterus, but she was fibrosis, right? And she was like bleeding out for like 30 days. She didn't know why. She didn't receive medical care.
No pueden hacer nada porque no me han atendido nada. Le dije, Dios mío, yo no me quiero morir. Pero si es tu voluntad.
When she went to an actual hospital, finally, they did an emergency blood transfusion, and she's just saying that she felt angry because she didn't. She thinks that it was unnecessary for her to get to that point.
It was 7:30 in the morning, I remember, and I was leaving my apartment, and I was just so worried about going to school, going to the library, getting that project done. I just remember getting on my car and then seeing this like gray SUV like follow me. This man like gets out and he has like a bulletproof vest, and then I saw that he pulled out a gun. He just yanked me out of my car, and I was like thinking like, this is the last time I'm gonna see my family. This is the last time that I'm gonna see my sisters. This is the last time that I'm going to see like my friends. Locally, I got in contact with the Inland Coalition for Immigrant Justice, and that's how they began to help me. I believed in miracles, and I believe in the power of collective work and the power of, you know, all of us coming together and actually, you know, changing, and one small effort leads to a great change in the world.
White justice doesn't work for me. White justice is a travesty. White justice just isn't, just isn't, just. White justice doesn't work for me. White justice is a travesty. White justice just isn't, just isn't, just.
And we're here today to say, this must stop now!
A military police officer seen in a video over the weekend confronting protesters outside Fort Sill has been suspended.
A Fort Sill spokesperson says the soldier in that video has since been trained on how he should handle protesters in the future.
A spokesperson for Senator Jim Inhofe says migrant children will not be housed at Fort Sill after all. This comes after he said late last night that the plans had been put on hold.
The change of plan comes just days after Japanese Americans who were children in World War II prison camps protested in Lawton for the second time.
People power shut down that Fort Sill camp.
No ban! No wall! No camps! No!
Last weekend, all of us traveled from Los Angeles to Lawton, Oklahoma to Fort Sill as part of a collective called Tsuru for Solidarity. Yeah. Tsuru is the Japanese word for crane, and for us, Tsuru was a symbol of hope and the way we can rise up as a community. We brought with us tens of thousands of origami tsuru folded by people across the country. Throughout the weekend's protests, we held them high and proud, like you can see them holding them behind me. White supremacy and those that enact its violence, including the US government, do not want us to acknowledge our collective strength. But we were there last weekend and today to do that. Because we are powerful together. Together, we can melt ice, we can raise hell when people are being locked up, whether in detention centers run by CBP or prisons like the one down the street. If we're up for it, I want to do one of the chants that we did in Oklahoma. It's very simple, we're just going to do it a few times together, and it goes, no ban, no wall,